afternoon, everybody. My name is Donna Feazell, and I'm your host of Donna's Edge television, radio, and podcast talk show. Thank you so much for watching every day, Monday through Friday, beginning 2 o'clock on the Eastern Time Zone as I get to ride home with you in the afternoon. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. You can find us a lot of different ways. Social media, Facebook.com/D Feazell. If you'd like to see more shows of Donna and Rick, all you have to do is go into the search section on Facebook, type in Donna Feazell, Rick Sands, and you'll be able to pull up some of the past shows that we've had throughout the years. Continue watching us on Abundance Television, found on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. Don't forget the podcasts on thenewscasters.com. And on the radio, you can also find us on WZLA, the biggest country station in South Carolina. Another way you can find us too is on yournews.com. yournews.com. By the way, if you would like to be a reporter in your own neighborhood, you can do that. Go ahead and talk to Sam Anthony. He owns this, and that's yournews.com. But again, we appreciate you listening. Well, Rick, hey, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Oh, always. Always got to have you on the show. Every once in a while, we get kind of mad at each other, and then we'll sulk. And then one of us will give in.
No. Okay, first of all, that's not true. First, the main thing is we don't get mad at each other. You just forget.
We get even.
You forget I exist, and then it's like I message you, and you go,
that's not true. That is just not true. That you are lying. You are telling. What are you, kin to lying, Hillary?
Wow.
Oh, let me ask you a question. Okay, so I've always wanted to ask this question to you. This is number one. Okay, so you're a reporter, and you could interview anybody in the whole world, past or present. Who would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question.
And you don't have to agree with them politically either if it's a politician.
No.
Just somebody to interview.
I think if I was to, right now off the top of my head, it would be Winston Churchill. Just because he was a very, very polarizing figure. You know, when he was the wartime prime minister for Britain during World War II, did an amazing job, pulled everybody together, very stoic. And, you know, his early life when he was like a reporter and he was in the army and he was all over the place and, you know, his adventures abroad. There's a movie called Young Winston with Michael York, who plays the young Winston Churchill. Very good movie. And then, you know, obviously his later years after he lost, the prime ministership of Britain and, his eventual death in the early 60s. There's only two people that have had the bells of Big Ben ring that weren't royals. One is him and the other one's Margaret Thatcher. So
I liked her.
At the time, I didn't. But now looking back, there's lots of things that had certain things had she not done certain things, we would be in a different world. But at the time, because again, it's like Trump now. Everybody was against Thatcher because Thatcher was doing this and Thatcher was doing that. There's certain things that she's done that have never been very good. But again, is she perfect? No, she's not perfect. But, you look at what we've got and had since then none of them are.
Well, now, she and Ronald Reagan were good friends.
Yes. Yeah. So, what about you? Who would you, if you had one person that you could interview?
You'll laugh when I tell you.
Oh, well.
I just think it would be I think it would be we're worlds apart as far as politics, okay? Bill Clinton.
Okay.
I would love to interview him. I think it would be the most fun, hilarious. It'd be almost like interviewing you in a different kind of a way. It would be comical. It would be a lot of fun. There would not be a dull moment.
I did not have sexual relationships with that. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I just think Bill Clinton would be a fun interview.
I could see that.
Now, Donna, honey, I know that you probably heard that, honey, but let me tell you the truth about that. I did not have sex with that man.
Yeah, Bill, we believed you not back then, and we still do not believe you.
I think he'd be fun. I think he'd be somebody, get him out of politics. What do you think he would have been had he not gotten into politics?
Ooh. Who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
I think he'd been a guy hanging out at the hardware store. I do. He would have been a good salesperson, like, help you find stuff. I mean, he'd really help the ladies. But what I mean is,
it's down there. You have to kneel down to get that. Yeah, no, on your knees, girl. On your knees, get that. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you this: who do you think the wife should have been for Bill Clinton? Not Hill. I don't know how those two got together. I mean, it just seems like the worlds apart.
Well, but if you see the early pictures of him, you could actually. I mean, I saw a picture of him the other day, early on, and I mean, she was very like plain Jane geeky. It's not that she's any oil painting right now, but I think he probably went for her intelligence more than anything. So I don't know. His choices. I mean, maybe if he'd have let Monica stay around, she'd have been.
God, she was just too stupid. I'm sorry, that girl was just way out there.
Well, this is the way I look at it. I mean, he was a man of means and power, and the trouble is with young females of a certain age in certain positions, they're going to unfortunately think that that's their way to wherever they want to go. So I think partly maybe it was, she had aspirations of climbing the ladder, and he could just see that, well, you want to climb the ladder, then you've got to do something for me. Unfortunately, that is, prevalent in politics and Hollywood, and we know that it goes on. We know that it has gone on. So I just think that she was just one of those poor, stupid victims that just, fell for it. And, unfortunately, she ended up on the front of the newspapers.
Yeah, but I kind of think she liked the attention, though. I don't think it
maybe at the time, but I think now, how many years later, and you just go like, it must be. It's a little bit like Linda Blair, doing The Exorcist. The only movie she ever made, and that's all she's remembered for, is the spinning head and the vomiting and being possessed by, a movie devil. And it's like, okay, and there's several other things that you could say where there are people that have just done one thing in their life, and that's everything that you're ever reminded of. It's just that one thing,
Well, okay, what if Bill Clinton had married Margaret Thatcher?
Yeah, no. Did you ever see Dennis Thatcher? Yeah, I mean, when they did like the James Bond movies, and they had like Janet Brown play Margaret Thatcher, and they had this guy that he looked like Dennis Thatcher in the background, wearing rubber gloves and an apron. He was a little bit like my father-in-law at the time. Yeah, he knew his place. My mother-in-law, she had the big chair, and she'd sit down, and he'd come in with the tea, and he'd do the washing up, and he had the gloves and everything. And it's like, yeah, I don't see Bill Clinton being at that level.
There was a story one time about Bill and Hillary were traveling back home, and they stopped at the service station. And so Bill said, and Hillary said, I used to date the guy that owns this service station. And he said, oh, really? And he said, so you married me? I'm the president of the United States. And she said, no, if I'd married him, he would have been the president of the United States.
Hey, you know what? I wouldn't put it past them saying that.
But this is what I don't understand. Okay, so about some of these flaky people who have been in office and who have run for office, they're just flaky, and they basically came from nowhere. Did they really come from nowhere? Or did they come from somewhere we just didn't know it, and they got placed into the position?
Well, I watched an interesting thing about Kennedy, and we all know a lot about Kennedy, but he was groomed for that position, and his family, and they all had money and power, and I think if you look at the Bushes, they're the same way. If and all the connections between all of these people and the families, there is a lot of stuff that it's not coincidental. It's not somebody working their way to a position. It's they get to a position. So it's a chess game. It's a big chess game. People are put into positions to be in position for something else. Happened with Obama. It happened with Clinton. It probably, I mean, you could say, was it, the same with Trump? Maybe not. But I don't think it, like Bush, the Bush family. And again, you start tracking back in history, you start looking at the connections in history and all the weird stuff like World War II, because wars are great money makers for people.
Oh, yeah.
That's, people love wars because basically they fight on two sides because they make more money that way. So if they're providing bullets that way, they're providing bullets the other way too, because they're making double the money. So there's lots of stuff that goes on. But I also believe that people are put into positions for reasons rather than earning it or getting voted in by people.
I like to look at who's donating to a politician who's helping them actually run for office. I like to see that because they're going to be holden to that person. So if somebody were to give $10 million to somebody running for office, you better believe when they get in the office, that person who donated the 10 million is going to get paid back one way or another.
Yeah, they want their piece of pie, or they want their whatever legislation they're pushing for or what they're anchoring for to be passed. And in general, normally it is. Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's always, like we've always said, follow the money.
Well, it's a way of investing, I think. I don't think it's because they really like that person. It's because they know if I give you 10 mil, that I'm going to get 20 mil out of it before you get out of office. Yeah,
it's like any assets that you acquire, and that's all they are. They're an asset to you. You've purchased an asset, and you use that asset until you can't be used anymore, or you use that asset up and then you get rid of that asset.
So
foul means or fair.
So if George Soros is giving to someone's campaign, what would that tell you?
That they're on the wrong side. I mean, if George Soros is giving you money, he's already made it very public that he does not like America, that he'd love to destroy America. But there's a whole bunch of people that don't like America. Because we don't follow the rules. We don't bow down to them. We don't do the things they want us to do. Why do you think that the Japanese never invaded? Because we didn't give up our guns. We didn't take our guns off of people. They knew that for every inch of ground they had to fight, they'd have to fight a militia, a big militia, bigger than a lot of standing armies in the world. Because, how many people have guns in the US? A whole lot, and you'd have to fight every single one of them, And you can take that way back to the War of Independence. The thing that the British didn't understand is that when you're fighting a militia, they don't fight like you do. You want to fight in your lines of little red coats, and they're fighting guerrilla tactics, and they couldn't. What was funny is when you went to Vietnam and were facing the same thing, it was hard to get your head around that whole way of fighting. But that's what killed off the British, is the fact that you had a well-maintained militia that just fought dirty.
And then you got to look into people who clean up after that war. Lady Bird Johnson, her name was all over that cleaning up Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
It was a construction company that she owned.
Yeah, and again, you look at Biden. I mean, his brother-in-law. Yeah, there's so much of it goes on where they're awarded contracts because they're family members. Even Hunter Biden, you look at what he done. There's so much of it that goes on. And that's all going.
He's such a majestic painter. I can't believe the guy's not a trillionaire by now. Yeah, come on. Let's go into a commercial break. We've got to go into a break. We'll be right back in just a few minutes. Everybody hang in there. Queen City Used Car Sales has been serving drivers in the Northeast Alabama area for years with a quality selection of late model used cars, SUVs, and pickup trucks. On top of our extensive selection and competitive prices, we offer professional auto financing services for used car buyers of all credit levels. Whether you've just begun your search or you're ready to secure your next vehicle, at Twin City Used Car Sales, you will drive away with the vehicle of your dreams. The sales and finance staff at Twin City Used Car Sales looks forward to serving you, and you can apply for financing online before your visit to our used dealership in Gadsden, Alabama. Check us out on the web at twincityusedcars.com or go by our location at 901 First Avenue, Gadsden, Alabama. We sincerely look forward to serving you. Okay, we are back. Thank you so much for watching Donna's Edge Television, Radio, and Podcast Talk Show. I wanted to thank all of our sponsors. You guys are absolutely fabulous. Thank you to Ziggy's Coffee. You guys are great. And let me tell you something, Rick. So the guy who owns Ziggy's Coffee knows I'm a gardener. And that's actually how I got the advertising from him. And so I said, you know something, I'm into like natural ways of gardening. You know, I don't use pesticides, none of that stuff. And I said, I just wondered, what do you do with your coffee grounds after they've been used? And he said, I'm glad you asked. He came from New York. He said, in New York, you had to have 3 containers for trash. You had to have coffee grounds, you had to have this, and you had to have that, 3 different containers. And he said, but here you just throw it all in. And he said, I've been looking for somebody. How can I get rid of coffee grounds? But anyway, go ahead and check out Ziggy's. They offer not only coffee, but they have great sandwiches as well. Go ahead and check them out. And all of our great sponsors, we definitely appreciate you guys being with us for a number of years. Appreciate all the Alabama sponsors staying as well. Actually appreciate that. Rick Staines is with me right now. And yeah, it's kind of like a really weird world that we're living in right now. And the players, you remember the movie Trading Places with Eddie Murphy in it?
Yep.
I
actually watched it.
We've been living that movie for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and again, you look at the premise of the movie, people prepared to ruin someone's life over $1 to see if if they went to, what they thought they would do, whether they turned to crime, which they did, or they changed and went this way. Yeah. I mean, great movie. But yeah, it's almost like that's what happens is people just go like, oh, I'll give you $1 if you think that person's going to do this. Let's make it happen. Yeah. But you're just talking about coffee. It's funny enough because I told you I got a greenhouse, right? I bought a greenhouse. I put it up and I came down. Well, that first night I lost a panel. It blew out, and then another panel blew out. But I got them back. But so it's taken. I finally got it to where it doesn't blow away. So my first attempt at growing something is actually going to be a coffee plant. I want to grow my own coffee in the greenhouse. Apparently, it's very difficult to grow. It takes up to 6 months to sprout. Mm-hmm. Some people don't.
Well, we're kind of on the same wavelength here. So I found that growing chicory is easier than growing coffee beans. So I've got chicory.
Okay.
And I'm just telling you, it's growing like crazy.
Yeah. My son-in-law and daughter, they started their garden. Their garden's amazing. They've got so much. They have watermelons, cantaloupes, cucumbers, which are easy to grow. They've actually expanded their one out now. He was actually asking me the other day, I'll help you with yours. I'm like, no, mine's fine right now. There's nothing we can plant right now that's going to make any difference. So it's going to be like, I've got to get the chicken wire done. I've got to get the plumbing done, some fencing done, and then the stuff down, and then the gravel on top of that before I start doing the bed. So I've got a long way to go, but the greenhouse is up. That's the first thing I'm going to start putting things in. But coffee is going to be my first attempt at growing anything because, one, it's difficult. It's not an easy grow. But I think I've got green fingers. I'd like to think.
I think you do too. And I think you're onto something there. Not only do I worry about pesticides and stuff, I just think about the supply chain. We've all been through that. Something else is going to happen. You know that. Something's going to happen to the supply chain, and I've got to have coffee. So I do. I have green coffee beans, and I do roast my own, and I do grind my own. I've got the Vitamix that I do that with. I've got to have coffee. I mean, I can do without food. I can't do without coffee. Yeah.
Well, I've been put on it's a half a half and half caffeine coffee mix, because when your partner, when your other half does something, you expect it to join in, and I don't want to drink decaffeinated coffee, so it's like so I went out and bought some of that Caffè Bustelo, which I really love. I love Caffè Bustelo. It's like a knock your socks off espresso coffee, and I drink it like regular coffee. So I just throw like a spoonful of that in there, and it changes the whole thing, because it just gives it some just a nice good whack, of caffeine.
I've never had that before. Where do you buy it?
You buy it any store. It's in the yellow and red tins or blocks. Caffè Bustelo. It's Puerto Rican. It's Puerto Rican coffee, but it's espresso coffee. So it's kind of potent. I love it. I think it's great.
That's what I like.
But yeah, so I just make regular coffee out of it, and I put my mix in there, or I put her mix in, but then I throw another one of that in there and just turn it up a little bit.
Yeah. When Phil does the coffee, sometimes what I do is accidentally put another spoon of the grounds in.
Yeah.
It's pretty potent.
I'm married to a nurse, and nurses are renowned for drinking like the grossest, thickest. And the funny thing is that she found out she doesn't like coffee. She actually just likes the creamer. So the other day we were talking, and she goes, "Well, I actually really just like the creamer." And then the creamer that she's using is I tried a bit, and I'm like, "Oh my god, that's got so much sugar in it." And I'm like, because then you have to put some in the bottom of the cup, because we do a frothy coffee for her. So then the froth is pushed onto the top. So you got the coffee's actually got creamer in it. Then you've got more creamer on top of it. And I'm like, that's so much sugar. That's not good for you. That's why I don't drink Starbucks anymore, because a lot of their coffee is just, the coffees are just sugar.
I just want black coffee. I don't want anything in it. Nothing else.
Yeah, I just like black coffee. And
I want it stout. I mean, I really want it where you can almost put a spoon and it just stands up.
Yeah, you could be in.
And I'm drinking. I don't know if you can see my cup, but I'm drinking it now. I don't know, drink it all through the day.
I was drinking tea, but from my boot mug. What's funny about that mug is,
wait a minute. Didn't I send you a cup?
You did. You did.
And have you broken it already?
No, it's on display. I've got a whole display of like mugs that I won't drink out of because they're actually worth something.
Oh, so, wait a minute. Are you paying me a compliment?
Yes, I have drunk out of it. I just put it up on the shelf with my other ones, like ones from Harrods. I've got a bone china one from Harrods with the English flag on it, and it's like really good.
You mean, wait a minute, I'm on a display with that. I'm taking that as a compliment.
Good.
Yeah, I couldn't. Yeah. Thanks for that. You're just like my brother. Okay. Yeah, in a lot of ways.
Well, I'll take that as a compliment.
Before we go, we got to get into the upcoming presidential race. We've got about, how much time do we have? We don't have long. We've got about 4 minutes left in this. Okay. So let me ask you, because I'm just really falling in love with Senator John Kennedy for Louisiana. I like this guy's candor. He's a lot like Trump. He just says whatever he thinks, but he's funnier.
Yes.
Why couldn't he be president?
Well, unfortunately for him, age is going against him, and that's the problem. And if they're looking for somebody younger, then he's literally just out in the bracket right now. He's a funny guy, though. I mean, I love listening to him. I love when he comes out with his little quips, his one-liners. Very, very funny. I don't know. I think right now, I mean, to be honest with you, Rubio has done actually a really good job.
I think Rubio too.
And because he's because his parents are Cuban as well, I think that's a nice mix there. But he's actually done a solid job where he is right now. As for the Democrats, well, they're going to throw everybody in the hat. I mean, Kamala's going to come back because she's going to have a run at it, and she's going to do exactly what she did last time. She's going to tank it because no one really likes her. You've got Newsom, who everybody thinks is a wonderful person, but I think by the time it comes to everything coming up to the voting and everything, he's going to have so much junk in his trunk because of all the stuff that he's done. And then you have to look at his record on San Diego, was it San Francisco? Sorry, San Francisco and California in general as a governor. And you just realize that, like, he's as bent as a two-bob note, as we'd say in England. A two-bob note doesn't exist. So there's something wrong with him. AOC, give me a break. I mean, she was a bartender, and that's where she belongs. I mean, she
is now a millionaire, by the way.
Yes, and she is another one that's just like, half the time, yeah, okay, I understand maybe her appeal to a certain degree, but beyond that, no, she's just
a 12-year-old.
Yeah, obviously there are people that like her, that think that she's wonderful, but yeah, no, she's if I think if she was president of the United States, I think that I would have to go. I think I would go be a citizen of Bangladesh or something like that.
You'd be better off.
Although I shouldn't be saying that, because one of the things that you can't do is, obviously I would never denounce the US. The US has been very good to me, and I love this country, as you well know. So that was just me being
funny.
Trying to be.
Well, I knew you were. I know you love the United States.
I do. And
some of the people who are the most patriotic, and my daughter-in-law is one of them. She's from Russia.
Mm-hmm.
She is. You two are probably the most patriotic people, but other than me, the two of the most patriotic people I know.
It's really funny because, like, I'm more patriotic than most British people for Britain as well, because when you're an expat, you're actually more. You become very patriotic too, but there's something about this country, and that's why I would love the World Cup so much, is to see people coming over and seeing the Americans and our life and our lifestyle for what it really was, which is nothing like it's been portrayed. So yeah, I mean, we rock the world socks off, which is awesome. And I love when people go like, why do they keep singing like the national anthem before every game, even if their team isn't involved? That's just because that's what we do. Love it.
And I'm glad to hear you say that's what we do.
That's what we do.
We accept you in. We want you here.
Yeah, I know. Well, and again, that's one of the wonderful things about this country is it's very accepting, and people never realize that. It's like, I told the people at work today, and they're like, "Oh, when you come up next week, we're going to have like a little pre-party." I said, "Well, but they're going to do it because they're happy that I've made that step, and I am too." I'm super pumped that I'm going to go through citizenship.
Well, you and I have been other places, so we know what it's like in other areas. I'm just telling you, we got the freedoms here. Even with all the nonsense that goes on in the government, we still have freedom.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And it's, I'm lucky enough to, see that every day when I step outside and, see what I've got and what I'm breathing in, and the countryside and the people and everything around me is just like, and the friends I have, this is it's a great country to live in.
Absolutely. One more question, about a minute left in this segment. Okay. So between Rubio and JD Vance, if you were JD Vance, what would you be thinking right now? Would you become the second banana? Would you be the VP, or would you try to run for president?
I think he would end up running for president, but I think if he was to do another term as vice, would actually be, if he could do another term as vice, he would be in good standing to be the president.
I think so too. Mm-hmm.
I think he's actually a very solid vice president. He's there and you hear about him, but he's not, he's not trying to take the spotlight away from anybody. He's just doing a solid job, and again, he's a regular person that's come through the regular route, that has served in the military, people go like, well, he didn't do this. It doesn't matter. He put a uniform on. Okay. And he did this work. He also wrote a book about his early years, watched the movie, so, and the fact that he's, also married to, an immigrant Indian lady who's got lovely kids and everything like that. I mean, he's got a solid bet. Yeah. So
think that had DeSantis not jumped into the ring so soon, I think DeSantis would be sitting where Rubio is right now. So I'd hate to see J.D. Vance mess everything up by jumping in the barrel right now to run for president. I think he needs to hope to be a VP.
Yeah.
I think he got that
His time will come, and he's young enough.
It's not time yet.
He doesn't have to rush it, and just as long as he's not Newsom or AOC or Kamala.
I think so too. But DeSantis, I think, would be sitting in a good spot had he not run for president and been so against Trump. I think he turned off too many people by doing that. And I like DeSantis. I think it was just the wrong timing.
Yeah.
It just wasn't time yet.
Yeah. And again, it's one of those things that you pick your battles and when to say and when not to say. Because that's what's going to either, make you or break you.
Absolutely. Rick, thank you so much for being with me today. And thank you guys so much for being with us as well. Continue sending email, Donna@donnasedge.com, Donna@donnasedge.com. We'll see you next time. Thank you.